And we're back with more Mattel Secret Wars. Look, on to Wave 2 now. Very exciting about Wave 2. Although the tooling didn't change much for the characters, they have some accessories and some other little aspects to the characters that make them a little bit different than the previous release, which had very standardized accessories and a very standardized, I guess, component to them. I mean, these characters are different. There were some additions, particularly on the bad guy side, but on the good guy side, they had some pretty cool elements as well. I don't want to spoil it. We're going to get to it in just a second. But you can see first the packaging change, and I know I have an unopened sample. We're going to open it because it's really hard to A, get this guy in a condition where his face isn't melted off, and B, get an authentic club that came with him and not a repro. So yeah, so you can see here on the packaging, I got it side by side with Wave 1. They have a little bubble on the chest, an indentation, and that's on all the packaging I've noticed for Wave 2. I'm not sure why this was made. If they were trying to save money, why did they just use the consistent bubble? But it has a little indentation here, I guess, to keep the figure from moving around. But that's the major change. That and this little new up in the corner here that you can see that just lets you know it's new. Now, Wave 2. A lot of odd things going on with Wave 2. One, the majority of the characters, well, all of the characters except for the Spider-Man were not in Secret Wars. Some of them were in Secret Wars 2 over time. If you recall, Secret Wars 2 wasn't just one comic book line. It wasn't just those 9 issues. It was like 36 other issues that connected to it as well. And they would say on it, Secret Wars 2 continued in this. It was also neither secret nor a war, as I recall reading that one. It was very out there, and it wasn't really a war. It was very just, it was Ferris Beyonder's day off, basically, as he was trying to figure out what it was to be mortal. So at any rate, some of these characters were featured in there, all with the exception of Baron Zemo. He was never in the comic book or any of the adjoining comic books. He did make it into the 2015, I believe it was, or was it more recent? Maybe it was, I'm sorry, not 2015. I think it was like 2024 issues. It was called Secret Wars Battle World. And he was in a pocket dimension that took place between frames in Secret Wars. They took all the characters from Mattel that weren't in Secret Wars and put them into that novel. So they finally had their redemption. But essentially, these characters were not in Secret Wars. They were really cool Marvel characters, like Daredevil here. He got his first action figure ever in this line, comes with his Billy Club. But you see on the back here the rest of Wave 2. We're going to be focusing on the heroes today. We'll do a villains video later. So we have Falcon and Black Suit Spider-Man. A lot of media coverage at the time because the costume was introduced in Secret Wars. And then for the villain side, we have a Hobgoblin and Baron Zemo. Now, there are other characters you see on here because they were packaged in to fill in the rest of the line that was canceled. So you have Captain America, Dr. Doom, and Dr. Octopus. There were 3 other figures in this wave, and when they canceled the line, they only shipped them overseas. That was Electro, Iceman, and Constrictor. That is what we're going to refer to as Wave 3, although technically it's part of Wave 2, making another 8 run for this line. They were only released in Spain and I think France. Very difficult to track down, very few of them, and very, very expensive. We'll see if we can show you guys Wave 3. I'm still trying to track one down for a reasonable price. But for now, we're going to be focusing on these Wave 2 beauties here. Like I said, it got a little more creative here. We're getting a little deeper into the Marvel line. We're getting away from Secret Wars, and we're adding some more accessories to the characters. So I think they're going to be more interesting than the Wave 1 figures. But why don't you come in and judge that for yourself as we check these guys out. Okay, we're going to start with Black Suit Spider-Man. Since I teased him out already, you can see his comic here of him becoming Black Suit Spider-Man, basically by getting that wrong machine inside the little lair there in Battle World. And here we go. You can see he is the exact same figure as the first wave Spider-Man, just with his new black suit. So no changes here. The design, the bent rear foot. Yeah, I mean, when I said Mattel was trying to minimize tooling to maximize profit, this is what I meant. So you can see it's the same figure here. Essentially, he just has the, the black little bug design because he's got his symbiote suit on here. It does look better, I gotta say. I kind of really like that look to it. Now, yeah, this is one of the more highly desired figures in the line. You're looking at like $60 just for the figure without any of the accessories. Maybe as much as over $100 with all the other accessories with the figure. Now, I don't have any equivalent in Toy Biz line. I do have the Skinny Venom from 1991, I believe this was. And this is probably the closest, since there is no black suit Spider-Man. Of course, he has the action feature of the tongue there, but this would be probably the closest comparison. And he had, you know, bending knees and arms, articulation there, so all that kind of stuff. So with Spider-Man here, he has his secret shield. Now this is very similar here to the original one, and I'm going to give you nice cutouts here. And don't worry, we're going to do the video shorts where we show all of the individual inserts. So you're not going to see them too clearly here, but we will go over them all inside those shorts. So just look for these coming out in the next couple days. So he goes from Peter Parker to Spider-Man. He comes with a couple other ones here, and I'm just going to show you some of them, not all of them. We will do all of them in the shorts. Basically here, he's got, what do we got here? This is just him turning into Spider-Man with the symbiote suit. Then we have him swinging through the city in the symbiote suit. And then we have another one of him fighting Dr. Doom in the symbiote suit. I noticed a lot of these sides, though, they look exactly like the standard Spider-Man. They're just black suit Spider-Man now, like him with the webs. Whoops, we did this one before, but it's black suit Spider-Man now. So it's very much kind of mimicking, even the design of the inserts are just a straight up copy of the first Spider-Man, and now we're getting them here along with the figure. So even the inserts were not retooled. Everything is just consistently the same. All right, the man without fear. We have our Daredevil here. So Daredevil, interesting little design here. Now I'm not sure if the body and the arms are supposed to be different colors, but that's just basically how this looks right now. It's a brighter body, and it looks like a different plastic than the arms here that have a whole different, well, look, they're starting to melt as I'm touching it. That's disgusting. So this might be part of the reason you can't get a really good Daredevil. You can see the red on my hands just from touching him here. So different material, was not very good quality essentially on this figure. So I'll just try to touch him from the head. But you can see the lines on the legs, on the arms here, and then the belt on the body, and the double D on the chest. This might explain why this figure does not hold up very well. He has one accessory, and it is that billy club. So I'm going to try to manipulate that out of here without touching anything now that my hands are all messed up. And it's a gray little billy club. So this is essentially it. It's got a round end here, and it's got a flat end at the bottom. We'll try to see if we get it in his hand without touching him too much. There we go. So he has this billy club now, and I want to show you his inserts. So we have his Matt Murdock to Daredevil shield here. Whoops. Matt Murdock to Daredevil shield is sort of what he has on the insert there. And then he has a couple other ones, and we'll show you some close-ups, and then we'll do the full video in a shorts later. So he has a kicking Dr. Doom. What Dr. Doom has his little gun here. He has a, I'm trying to unfold these, excuse me. Fighting Dr. Octopus. And then he has, it looks like he's fighting Baron Zemo while Zemo is in the Tower of Doom operating the cannon at the top there. So those are just one side. I'll show you those three now. We'll show you more, of course, in the full coverage. So kind of weird where he's melting as soon as I took him out of the package. But it looks like they went with a really cheap material here for, I don't know, most of the body, except for the center has a really solid plastic. The arms, I'm not sure what they're made out of, but they are coming off already. So weird, just very weird. So the figure I have to compare him to is the Toy Biz, the one from the original line in 1990. You can see he's a little taller here. Very similar look, just the face kind of painted there, and he's got articulating knees. But that's really it. His billy club is this extending grappling hook one. But that is essentially very similar design. You can see, the club here on his leg, but very similar design between the two figures here. He came with a more traditional club though. So that is our look for the Man Without Fear and his Toy Biz counterpart. As you can see, a very odd design to him with the different body segments here. I don't know why they didn't go for this simple plastic color throughout and ended up with this other line, which is gonna like melt off, and you're gonna lose all the coloring and stuff over time on the boots and on the wrist there. But the rest of the design features are on his body. Remember, they painted everything on, so there's no belt or anything. It's just literally painted on him. He's gonna have articulation in that head and in the arms, but that's really it. So very simple look, and did not hold up well over time. But he does have his club there, so he is ready to fight crime still. All right. Why don't I get cleaned up really quick before we start taking a look at the last figure? All right, and we're back, and I got that Daredevil off my hands fairly easily. I forgot to show his comic strip of him here fighting Dr. Doom, so I want to make sure you guys see that. It's a fun little strip of him leaping around. And then we have our next figure, which is going to be Falcon, and he's fighting Hobgoblin, my favorite character in this wave. You'll see why next time. But he's got his Red Wing there as well. And here he is, one of the more interesting, probably the best hero in this wave. You can see he's got multiple paint applications on the boots. He's got this mask here. He's still got the Captain America body with the gloves and everything. But they added this great feature, and that's going to be his actual wings. As we have Falcon, excuse me, they go this way. As we have Falcon, he has this additional aspect to him. So other characters don't have some kind of ability to sprout wings. I mean, they're all just very flat and simple. With the exception of Dr. Octopus, we haven't seen any additional feature on the bodies at this point. So this is new. Well, like the package says, new, exclamation point. Very cool look to the character here. You can see the wings, they fold up and down, and it really makes him Falcon. So for a action figure at the time, I think this is great, because none of these action figures, as you recall, had any action features. So I would consider this an action feature, because you could actually spread his wings, and then you could put them back down. So very interesting that they decided to wait this long to start really tooling characters out. And at this point, the line was dead. So it was the end of the road anyway. So the other thing he did is he came with an accessory. He has Red Wing here. You can see him turning his little head over the side. So he has his little Red Wing. You know, he's just kind of in perch mode. You can't really... I mean, I guess you could take him out, pretend like he's flying, but here's this Red Wing with Falcon. And then Falcon's kind of similar to Daredevil, went from the character into, went from Sam Wilson into the Falcon here. And that is basically the standard transition for the default for the shield. And he had a couple more. We're looking to look at a couple of these here. And again, we'll do the full look in the shorts. So with the Falcon, we have a bunch of colorful ones. Now I noticed that the characters are fighting some characters from the second wave. At least we saw that in Daredevil there. So we'll see if that's consistent in Falcon. So yeah, the first one here, he's fighting Hobgoblin and Magneto, it looks like. So very cool that they have, they added a new character and an older villain as well. And then we got him over here, again fighting Hobgoblin, but this time he's in, I think that's the Doom cycle. And then we have Falcon fighting Magneto here, as you can see. And then we have a bunch of other ones. We'll be checking those out next time, just to sort of round it all out. But those are the three sort of front side ones that we had for Falcon. Like I said, the coolest one of the wave. I mean, he's got these wings. No other character has anything giving them more dimension than Falcon here. I mean, he's got Red Wing as his accessory. Again, accessories in this wave. And he's got those wings. So taking a look at all the characters in this wave, we got this melting Daredevil with his little billy club, which is cool. I gotta say, having the billy club, very cool to have that extra accessory. So it's more than just, you know, the basic character with a secret shield. And then we have that black suit Spider-Man. Now, super popular character, especially in the comics with that costume change. Super popular action figure. Very hard to stand though. Super popular action figure. Even by today's standards, because just this is where he came from. He came from Secret Wars. It's the first time he wore the costume. So it has a lot of that nostalgia kick to it, and people just kind of want to, you know, this is the first black suit Spider-Man ever, so it's kind of neat. So this is your wave of heroes. I know we're one shy. The other one would have been Iceman, and he's now part of wave 3. But we would have had 4 heroes in this wave versus 4 villains. So that is your look at the Wave 2 heroes from the Mattel Secret Wars line. All right, and here we have our Wave 2 heroes. Some surprises in this line. Love to see additional accessories since Mattel is really trying to keep it minimal to make as much money without putting any cost in this line, and which is ultimately what killed it. Weird that the Daredevil did not hold up very well over time. That would explain why you look at a lot of copies online in the secondary market and they are falling apart. I'm not sure why they tooled the body this way. The arms are a different material than the rest of the body. As you can see, the central part is just completely different. Not sure why they did that. Maybe it had to do with the way they painted it. Unclear, but it is not holding up well. Even a brand new one is falling apart. Like I said, even brand new ones have, you know, issues all over them, like the face melting or something. The Falcon, awesome. Clearly the winner of this wave. A lot going on there with the action feature with the wings and the red wing as well, and that great classic look. So very cool to see this. Next time, we're going to be taking a look at the villains. We have Baron Zemo, and we have Hobgoblin, which I think is the coolest, and he is also the most expensive of the wave. We talked about price for Spider-Man. You're looking at about $60 for Daredevil. Complete Daredevil, you're probably looking over $100 in a good condition. Very hard to find it, and I think it's because of that melting plastic aspect. This guy, you're probably looking very similar, close to $200 for a complete Falcon. The red wing was lost a lot. Having one in good condition with the wings on here is also difficult in finding all the inserts. So you're looking at spending close to $200, maybe a little under. Maybe we say around $180. So that's probably the price for a good Falcon if you could track one down. And then, yeah, beyond that, we'll get into more expensive as we look at the next figure, and then we'll talk about Wave 3 prices and how those are beyond ridiculous. I mean, there's what people are asking for than what people are actually paying, but they're still paying a lot, so we'll check that out later. But for now, that is all for your heroes in Wave 2. Next up, we have villains. We're still going to be checking out some vehicles, some play sets, and maybe Wave 3. We'll see. And we also have more of our Monster March, so tune back for that to see more Godzilla on Thursdays as we round up March. And then we're going to have a surprise April theme as well, which we won't get into yet. So that is all for this time. Like, subscribe, and follow. See you guys next time.